Here we go. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We got Haley the Bear.
Hello.
Producer Josh.
Broncos country. You tried.
Whoa! Coming out of the gate hot today, baby.
And Ryan from Miami.
Wakanda Forever.
You know what? Actually, since do we have a poll winner? Let's go there first.
We do, yes. We do have a poll winner, and just so you guys know, it was Soda that won the poll by a pretty, of course, large percentage.
Yeah, I can see that.
By a pretty large percentage. But it was a popular one, about 330 votes with 49.2%. Soda was the victor. Pop was actually second, and Coke was a distant third.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I think calling it Coke is a Southern thing. It's obviously limited even in the Southern states. I think that's probably why.
It's just what you grew up with, you know?
Yeah. For our YouTube viewers, where can they go to find that, Ryan?
It's really easy to do, ladies and gentlemen, and we do watch all of your comments. We read through them. I like some of them. You know, we like it. We like when you guys rate, subscribe, review, share with your friends, and post. And it is youtube.com/@thequad with CY. Very easy to do.
We are also still in the process of getting our Instagram back. Do not follow any of these random the Chris _quad _75 podcast.
You can see
I
that
feel
obviously.
Like wait. I feel like this is something that we've talked about for the last 3 weeks.
Just really
But
want to hammer
apparently
this out.
we need
I don't
to-
think anyone listening to us is gonna fall for that. I would hope you would not.
Unfortunately, they do, because I still get messages asking, is this the real this? Is this the real that? And these are people who actually follow the podcast. So again,
If you can get
stop.
with this and you can get with that. And you can get with this and you
Obviously,
can
you
get with that.
can see on a Haley account. I only have one account. You can see that mine has 8,000 followers. These other accounts don't. And I don't have a private account. This is my only private account because it's only me. The podcast has over 10,000 followers. There's no second accounts to it. There's not.
We don't have secondary
Stop
accounts,
following
guys.
these other accounts and believing what they're messaging you. Stop it. This is why we don't have a Instagram right now.
I'll work with Elon Musk to get us the blue check mark on Twitter, by the way. So
Sweet.
We're $8 away. Let's
I don't even want to talk about that.
Let's
Good
get
God.
accounting involved, and we'll have a blue check mark soon. Anyway.
Good Lord. Yeah, let's kick things off with the movie. Let's change it up. Do you know which? Movies.
I'm ready.
Get the button right. Okay. So, I said that, and I am not ready because I have not typed in Wakanda Forever yet. I have a lot of thoughts.
So many thoughts.
Yeah, we're gonna get to those, but Wakanda Forever, 84% on Rotten Tomatoes, higher than I expected. I'm not kidding. That's higher than I expected. I'm not even going to read this because if I pronounce something wrong, somebody's going to yell at me. But basically, the end of it is, as the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together to forge a new path for their beloved kingdom. Ryan Coogler, obviously, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. What did you think of this movie before I get to my point?
Josh, I'm going to let you take the floor first.
And Haley has not seen this yet.
I've had a very long, rough week.
Oh, no.
We're not going to spoil it. I know. We're not going to actually spoil it.
No, it's too soon. It's too
I know.
soon.
It literally
It's too
just came
soon.
out. I think this was a great victory on a sequel. I think that it is a necessary movie to further the plot of this phase of the Marvel movies. It was a really good introduction movie to Namor
Interesting that you would describe it that way.
I was a big fan, and then I cried at the end.
Oh.
But I cry at everything, so I'm not sure that's
by the way,
that's the metric.
The open where they always have all the Avengers in the Marvel
And it was just
logo,
Chadwick.
and it was just him.
Just Chadwick. That got me.
That was cool.
I
And
like how
Zidore.
they do that, especially even when. Oh my god!
Did you just
you have a brain
reboot?
fart?
What just happened?
You like, and they do that when
what just
My mind completely just disappeared in that moment. Yes.
you're
Okay,
rebooting.
moving on.
Okay, Haley's
Wow.
rebooting. Go ahead, Rye. What do you think of this movie?
Haley is rebooting. I love this. First of all, the fact that they tied in the tribute to Chadwick Boseman off the top and then brought it back at the end of the movie. I mean, that was what brought me to tears. They did such a phenomenal job of carrying that throughout this film. And obviously in the beginning of it, you have the whole, funeral ceremony and you see Chadwick Boseman on the poster up there. And it's just an emotional thing. But then they're able to truly turn the page. I thought not only was the acting in this movie sensational, I thought the cinematography was fantastic. By the way, I have a very funny story. I walked into this theater and did not realize that I went to a 3D showing. So for the first 10 minutes,
Oh, no.
I was freaking
Oh, no.
out, thinking that something
didn't
that
give you
my
glasses?
vision was going. I was like completely in a different world, and I looked to my right and I looked to my left, and I noticed everyone had the 3D glasses on. And once I put those things on, what an
Did they not hand it
immersive
to you in the
experience that was.
beginning?
They did not. They failed me on that one. However, I thought this movie was fantastically done. The storylines were great. The acting was phenomenal. I loved, and this is something that was talked about prior to this movie coming out, Black Panther and the Wakanda Forever series truly focusing on diversity. There was such a diverse group of stars in this movie that the main cast was sensational. I thought, I'm forgetting her name, but the scientist, the young scientist, I thought she was a fantastic actor in this film. So it was sensational all throughout. It had my attention. The storytelling was great. Obviously,
You're talking about Dominic Thorne.
Dominic Thorne, she was sensational. But this movie was fantastic from front to back.
I cannot wait to see it again. It's been a long emotional weekend just for me, and I was planning on seeing it last night, and I just ended up with the biggest migraine. I couldn't do it. I just had to go home and go to bed. But I am very excited to go see this movie because of it. Even though one of our friends highly dislikes this, I still want to go see this movie.
By the way,
And by the way, I was talking about Stanley earlier.
when
It
we
just
talk
came
about and I don't want to make everything a downer, but when we talk about loss, you talk about people, you also talk about dogs.
Yeah,
You lost a puppy.
I did. It was very hard. It's been a long week. She had to go to the emergency vet last week, and with her heart, she was on a lot of meds, and it just still did not help her heartbeat. Unfortunately, she was not born with a good heart, so she did not make it.
Well, we're all thinking of you, Bear. All of us, obviously.
It was my
got the arms
first.
around
It was my first dog as an adult on my own, so it sucks.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Mid.
Interesting.
Now, the reason I say this is not because I dislike the movie. It is that there's a couple things at play here. Chadwick Boseman was the man. I mean, it's never gonna. You're always gonna have that hanging over this movie, right? So it's going in with a negative to start, which is just everybody's sad that we
Holy
lost
hell,
him.
did Letitia Wright do a good job in this role, though?
It's not that. That's actually not my problem with the movie. I think that's one of the better parts. I think what you're talking about, like the cast, is fantastic. I think they are great. My biggest problem is something that you alluded to when describing this movie, which is it is an introduction movie. Mm-hmm. There are too many characters. There's too much going on. If you're a nerd like me and you know comic plot lines, they tried to do too much at one time, and it feels like a DC film. From that perspective, like Marvel has always done a great job of slowly introducing characters.
They kind of had to throw a ratchet into the plan.
That's not my point. My point is not making a character move on because, unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman passed. I thought they treated that very well. I thought that probably the only way to do that would be to mirror what he went through. I thought that was very well thought out because
I liked that it was. This is not a spoiler because this is
no.
But they have him getting an unforeseen illness at the beginning of the movie, and
So
Shuri is trying to solve it and save him in real time and can't do it.
That's how the movie starts.
That's
how
how the movie starts.
That's all we need to say.
That's all we need to say.
But did he have any of this filmed before he passed?
If they did not use any of it.
Okay.
They did flashbacks to his appearances in the 2018
older cuts of movies.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Chris, I agree with you to a certain point that
and I'm not done. Sorry.
Okay.
I know we had to talk about that because that's real life, man. Like that's not movies. I don't care if my worst enemy on the face of this planet were to have to go through something like that. It's part of life, but it feels unfair, and there's grief, and like I don't obviously have any relationship to Chadwick Boseman or any of his family, but like thoughts for them. And I know everybody says don't say thoughts and prayers now, but it's seriously, that is a very, very tough thing to go through. Cancer runs in my family. It's one of the reasons I try to raise so much money for cancer research as one of my charities.
for sure. And this movie being out is just going to bring up the lack of having him right now. So like it's going to be fresh on a lot of people's mind.
Right. So with all that being said, my point is that I didn't like if they forced some characters, and there's some characters in this that you don't even realize, and you guys may not unless you know the comics. Anyone listening to this, anyone watching us, there's like some very interesting storylines with some of the characters that they just kind of allude to but gloss over so that they get them introduced. And I think it's because they're going to do something on Disney Plus, and they want to have at least someone know where they came from as far as movie wise.
You have to point
before they
towards
do that.
something,
You have to go, hey, this person. And I don't like that. Falcon did not feel like that character. He felt fleshed out as a character before they did Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Both of those characters did. They didn't feel like, hey, we're just going to throw this out here. I will also go back the other way and say that I think the ending of this movie was very interesting for how they treated it. I know we're not trying to do spoilers. Mm-hmm. I liked that it wasn't the same ending of every superhero movie. It wasn't done the same way, and that's all. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it there. I don't want to spoil anything, but I
completely
did like it.
Different tone than how Endgame ended.
Yes, exactly.
Which is kind of where I thought they were going to tie it back up.
Where we thought we were going,
and they went the opposite way, and I was like, oh, huh.
You're like,
again, it's so vague because it's just out. I want to say more, but I can't.
One of the things, Chris, that a lot of critics said, and I've read a number of reviews on this, they called it the plot was overstuffed as Coogler seeks to pay tribute to Boseman and establish the necessary markers for future MCU projects.
But that's the problem. The MCU has never felt like that in any film before to me.
That's the problem that a lot of critics have with this film. Is it feels like there's so much going on.
That is the only thing. It's not that it feels like there's too much going on. There is too much going on. They tried to put too much in this film. That's why the runtime is so long, but it also is a long runtime and still doesn't manage to address all the things it's trying to do.
All right, what's the next Marvel movie that would be important that's coming out?
Quantumania is
Yeah.
in February.
Oh,
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
I also just realized that I ironically wore my Marvel shirt today,
Yeah, you
and I
did.
was
There you
looking
go.
for Black Panther on here, but he's not.
There's there's a couple things at play here. I'm with you, Chris. I am one, and I can be old guy on my lawn right now, but like I don't like all the Disney Plus stuff. I don't like that the universe has to expand to where I have to watch all of these shows to get the Julia Louis-Dreyfus character so that she's not a complete.
Okay, all right.
That's frustrating to me because I don't really want to watch every
You don't-
season of Loki or whatever.
What?
Yeah, I didn't. I checked out. I checked out after the second episode.
Really?
Dude,
Oh,
you
it
gotta
gets
stay.
so
you gotta
good.
stay.
I didn't finish WandaVision.
I never finished
didn't
WandaVision.
finish-
All right, time out. I totally understand WandaVision.
And I even understood what they were trying to do, and I still was like, I'm out.
I watched it and enjoyed it at the end.
And that's what I heard. I heard the last episode makes the whole thing better. But
I liked the first episode of that and the last two episodes
Hawkeye
of that.
and Captain America are
I-
technically the other one. Those are the two best ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's Captain America now.
Yes, but you know what I mean.
I did love Falcon
and the
Winter
Winter Soldier.
I loved
yes.
that one.
It was great.
I loved that
Did
one.
you watch Hawkeye?
I haven't watched Hawkeye.
That
yet.
one is
really
really
good.
good.
I tried Moon Knight. Awful.
Oh, is it? I haven't tried that one yet.
I don't know that Moon Knight is awful.
And I know why they have to do it. I do, because like you, I'm a comic book nerd. I know where all of this is pointed.
Well, and I know that
but it is frustrating
I
that you
don't-
have to
I
go back
don't
and watch the
have-
series.
I don't have a single Moon Knight comic.
I did.
I never did.
I did.
I don't. I have. Sorry for anyone that's not a nerd listening to us
I was
right
about
now.
to say this is. I mean, I'm,
This
I'm
is- we're
just
getting
nerd,
very
I'm
nerd
getting
level.
overcalculated nerd right now, and
Nerd level 100. Let's go.
I would have rather seen, and again, they've tried twice, and they've to different levels failed. I would rather see the Fantastic Four or Silver Surfer, or like, hey, if we're gonna make Guardians whatever, I know you don't like it, but hey, now we've expanded galactically. There is an opportunity to create a Silver Surfer movie that is his origin story, where he then becomes the Herald of Galactus because he saves his planet by
Right.
becoming the Herald.
Right. Which, in theory,
And start there. That could be like really emotional and deeply personal and create character growth and give you something other than, no, I'm just really strong.
I just for someone who is as openly admittedly a Marvel movie nerd. Like, I mean, I rewatch these movies all the time.
Yeah.
I did not watch Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I did watch Daredevil. Daredevil was excellent.
Daredevil was great, and obviously,
Iron
coming
Fist
back.
and Jessica Jones are also really good.
I couldn't get into Jessica Jones. That wasn't for me.
It felt just like all of these have felt like
I tried.
a rewatch of Eternals over and over
Okay,
again.
but that's my thing. Like, not all of these are going to be great, right? We understand that. I'm just when it is big blockbuster movie time. I
needed it
don't-
to hit differently.
I wish they had left some characters out of this.
Can I-
I like the main arc. That's why I say it's mid. It is not in, like, Black Panther, top 5. Wakanda Forever, not top 10.
Can I ask you one quick thing, just because there were some obviously tributes to previous Black Panthers, especially the one in 2020.
Yes.
Or 2018.
So, yeah.
The Michael B. Jordan cameo. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that in this movie, because I found that to be a really interesting point of the movie, and it tied into the key fight scene in the end.
I really like how they handled that.
I thought it was really well done, and I love his bravado and character throughout the
I
Black
just like
Panther
Michael B.
films.
Jordan as an actor
He's
in general.
He
phenomenal.
is fantastic. And by the way, again, I'm not saying this movie is bad. I'm just saying it is not Captain America, any of the Avengers films. If we did a ranking, Black Panther is way up there for me. this one is good.
So this is more Age of Ultron for you, where it's like,
Yes.
you enjoyed it.
Still, I really enjoyed
You
it.
enjoyed
I
it.
still liked it.
It brought a couple characters into the fold that you're like, oh, cool. I'm glad that they're here now.
It was too much.
But ultimately, you're just like, hey.
They should have handled pacing and character introduction better, because this felt like, and again, you're talking about something that, me being a nerd, I love. I will watch pretty much anything Marvel or DC or anybody else puts out. I love comic books. I always have. It's middle of the pack for me.
I just wonder how different this movie would have been if Chadwick Boseman was still alive, because I don't know what the plot would have been.
There's no way to. We can't.
There's no, and I think they did for what was given to them and how quickly they had to pivot, reshoot, and change a movie. I think
they handled it perfectly right. But everyone's going to go into this movie going, "I wish I had at least one more movie with Chadwick Boseman." Because
I
he was
liked
such a great
it
actor.
drastically better than Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Way, way better than that movie.
I really like that one.
I didn't have the problems with that movie that you did.
Ugh. I just
And by the way, maybe it was because again, my one issue with this movie was they weren't trying to introduce anyone new in that movie.
That they were just doing scary.
Now, that movie has its faults, for sure.
yeah, Sam Raimi for me.
Wakanda Forever took in 180 million at North American box offices over the weekend.
Oh, wait, it's going to crush.
Here's what I was going to ask you, because overall in 2018, Black Panther went on to take in 680 million overseas, 202 million domestically. Does this film approach those numbers? Because I think it does.
It will.
I mean, if it's already taken in 180 worldwide?
No, that's
the
just
curiosity.
That's at North American cinemas. That's not counting.
Okay.
That's
Then
an
yeah.
additional 150 million over worldwide.
Okay, well, first of all, the growing popularity of the Marvel Universe. If you were never a comic book person, you are now slowly growing into being part of this universe. But also the curiosity of what not having Chadwick Boseman does is going to draw people to watch it anyways, just like the first one. The love for the first one is there, but the curiosity of seeing what happens without him is also there, because too many people respected him in the franchise.
By the way, they didn't expect the first one to do the money that it did.
Correct.
And then that character has been in other Marvel films all the way through,
Even in his little cameo in the very
Avengers.
last Avengers.
Well, and that's obviously he had a cameo in both of them. He was a part of that. He was a part of Civil War. He was a character in this universe for a while. So everyone is going to have interest in this movie. And again, I repeat, I appreciate what they did with the main story arc in this movie. My problem with this movie is not that. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying it's not one of my favorites, like the original Black Panther, because it feels like they're trying to do too much.
Tip of the cap to Coogler, though, for one thing and one thing only. Not one thing only, but one thing specifically.
Wait, can you figure out what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Before you start saying it.
Hat tip to him for creating a superhero film in the MCU universe that featured predominantly African-American actors and main characters in this. They did a phenomenal job. And the women of Wakanda together, they talked about in the story how they banded together to honor Chadwick to get through this film because of how emotional it was together. An unbelievable job, I thought, all of them did in this film.
I don't think there's a... By the way, the one thing that I will absolutely put on top of that, the acting in this movie is fantastic.
It's great.
You can tell. I mean,
it's fantastic. You knew they wanted to go out of their way to make this right,
and they lost their friends, so it's like the feelings are not that dissimilar from what they're trying to act.
Yeah, they don't have to act in that department because they did lose somebody that they worked night and day with for a very long time.
Well, we'll see what the numbers end up being, but Black Panther: Wakanda Forever out in theaters now. Go get your tickets.
Also, what are we going to watch this week?
You want to go back to The Good Doctor? What I had proposed?
I kind of
The Good Nurse.
I kind of want.
The Good Doctor is
The Good Nurse.
a show.
The Good Nurse.
It was so
waiting.
good you
I was
remember the
waiting.
name of it.
I kind of want to watch The Menu.
I kind of do too.
Have you heard about this movie?
No.
It's not scary.
No,
it's not
like
scary.
A horror comedy.
It's not
What are we
scary.
doing? We're not at Halloween anymore.
No, it's not scary.
Horror comedy.
It's more like a thriller.
I feel like everyone says when it's a scary movie, like it's a thriller.
It's more like The Most Dangerous Game.
Man, what are y'all doing?
It's not a scary movie. It's a mind game.
A young couple travels to a remote island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises.
Yeah, it's
That's
not
the
like a
description.
jump scare movie at all. If that's what you're thinking.
All right, so do you know what The Most Dangerous Game is? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that, right?
No.
So it's like they get caught up in a trophy hunt that's like a guy that is just this, has all the money in the world, and he's hunted everything, and the most dangerous game that he wants to hunt is
Human.
other people. So that is sort of the principle of this, but it also has like a chef twist to it.
You know, The Good Nurse is about hunting people too.
Okay, but also this one seems more interesting than The
All
Good
right,
Nurse.
hang on.
Whoa,
hang
whoa,
on,
whoa.
hang on. So
Stop
if
it.
all right, we're gonna flip this like a
Yeah,
coin.
let's go.
We're gonna flip a coin.
Let's go.
All right.
Yes.
That is heads. This
I
is
have
tails.
a coin on me if you want me to.
If you actually do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do
We'll
it.
flip a
Yes.
coin since we're
Flip my phone.
Good Nurse
Flip my
versus The Menu.
all right.
Here it is.
I want you to call heads or tails.
All right. Oh. Fumble.
Fumble.
How much do we have on that?
Vikings recover.
Oh, boy. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, we're gonna get to all that. Heads or tails?
I'll call it on the air.
No, heads or tails?
Tails.
It's heads. I'm sorry.
Literally,
Ryan.
it's going to be heads.
This is going to be like Shang-Chi. I'm going to keep going to battle for the Good Nurse each and every week.
I'm going to tell you right now, Ryan, you're not going to win next week because next week is Glass Onion.
Wait, what's that?
Yeah. yeah. And Haley dies.
Oh, Knives
She
Out.
just-
Let's go.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
You just about fell
Yeah,
out of
did
your
you?
chair. Are you okay?
I didn't know that was coming
You
out
just
anytime
got so
soon.
excited.
Stay tuned. One of these weeks we will watch The Good Nurse and review it here on the Quad with Chris Young.
Or you can just
Yeah,
watch it on
we-
your own and we won't talk about it. It's
We
fine.
are 1,000% watching that next week. So this week, guys, just again The Menu, and be aware. I don't even have to look that up. I know it's rated R. So just a heads up. Let's go to sports.
Sports.
Your third place, Buffalo Bills.
I mean, Dallas isn't even in charge of their division, much less second place anymore. Because
First ever loss after leading by 14 plus points through three quarters. They were 195 and 0.
I know. I've already talked about it this morning. I do a call every week with the Dallas radio station.
Is it time to fire Mike McCarthy?
Well, he's done well
this is
until-
what I said, and I felt kind of bad about saying it because it's an easy joke. But you know what? Mike McCarthy is doing a good job. He is. He didn't try to go for another quarterback when he already had a capable backup, which was his decision. And I think that was really important because a lot of people in Dallas were calling to try and leverage players to get Jimmy Garoppolo and all this other mess. And keeping Cooper Rush was very, very smart. We also won the past, not last week because it was a bye, but the past 2 weeks before that. Dak looks good. Dak turned the ball over twice. Green Bay has had our number the last time we've played them, especially on their home turf. People have to remember this is an away game, and it's a revenge game for the Packers because McCarthy is now there. I did not think it was a good idea to walk in dressed like Lombardi for McCarthy. I know he's won a Super Bowl there when he was head coach, but I thought that smacked a little just
You don't want to
you're
give
giving
people more
them-
food.
Yeah, you're letting them eat. You're giving you're doing the reverse Zeke. And I said this morning on the interview, so it's out there already anyway. But somebody goes, "Did you see where he showed up early to the game dressed like Lombardi?" I was like, "He should have shown up early to the game to have a better game plan."
Oh,
Because that's the only loss they have at 100. It was 181 games. This is the only loss they've ever had, leading by 14 in the fourth quarter.
yes.
How
Again,
many
they were
teams-
195-0 entering today.
195.
But how many teams yesterday also lost leading in the fourth quarter?
There were a lot.
No, but no.
The Bills?
That is the only time the Dallas Cowboys have ever lost leading by 14, and arguably with one of our best defenses we've ever had. They just fell apart in the fourth quarter. And that's got to be coaching.
The Cowboys were
to some
also
extent.
180-0 all time when leading by 14 points through three quarters, and they lost.
That was what I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was 180.
195-0 all
Yeah.
time is what they were.
Wait, why do you keep saying two different numbers?
That was through three quarters, and then when you include the playoffs, that was regular season 180-0. Including
Got
playoffs,
you.
195.
No, I'm talking about regular season, which is 180. I know,
Playoffs.
because they're 180 and one now,
Mm-hmm.
and that one loss is under McCarthy, and that's got to fall a little bit at his feet. It also has to fall a little bit on Dak throwing two bad picks, like that one touchdown that was like forever with this vaunted defense that they've got, and they do really have a great defense. They have all the tools to be in the playoffs and challenge for a Super Bowl this year, but they can't take losses that way. That's a bad L.
At least Aaron Rodgers found a wide receiver. Like he found a wide receiver, Christian Watson.
Okay, he found it temporarily. I still think Aaron Rodgers fails for the rest of the season.
Well, I mean, he's going to need to, and a couple other people are going to need to, because next week we have the Vikings. And
You like
they
that,
look-
don't you? You like that?
No, I hate that.
You like that?
You like that?
I hate
Also,
it.
the Bills
and you
did
know he's
lose
going to do
to-
that if he wins.
The Bills also, Josh Allen was coming off of an injury. He probably
A UCL sprain in his elbow, and by the way, he
Yeah.
looked fine. He did not look like, with the
you can
exception
look
to the
fine,
two red
but
zone
not
picks.
feel okay.
With the exception of the two red zone picks, that was a terrible pick in the fourth quarter that allowed the Vikings to come score on that drive and then obviously gain momentum there. But that was one of the best games of the season by far.
You want to talk about Herbert getting tossed?
I actually didn't see Herbert get tossed. I did not see Herbert get tossed. I was too focused on the Dolphins being in first place. in the AFC.
Did you know that he got tossed?
No, I didn't. Go look it up.
Once again, the Dolphins beat a crap team.
Am I imagining something?
Congratulations.
Did I just?
Herbert getting tossed?
Are we talking about tossed out of the game or just tossed in the game?
Oh, you're talking about the when he got slammed to the turf?
Yeah.
When he got injured? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant tossed out. I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't see that.
I was like, you know what?
By the way-
To be fair,
Let's tie in a Josh Allen and Justin Herbert stat for the record since you brought him up. I mean, they have a combined 12 picks since Tua last threw a pick in a game.
Tua plays crappy teams. Who also,
She's not
I
wrong.
still stand by, should not be playing at all. All it takes is one more hit and he's done.
Are you going to show him the text message of where I said Tua's the savior and then Tua sucks? Okay.
No, you go ahead.
I would like to stake my claim here for just a second. Give me the runway and shut up over there, Bears fan who doesn't think she has a quarterback who has the best rushing quarterback in NFL history the last 3 weeks. Let me say my piece about the last 3 weeks. He is. Last 3 weeks, best rushing quarterback ever.
the best rushing quarterback in history the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I just want you guys to remember this for whatever he is about to say.
Yes.
The best rushing quarterback in history the last 3
The Dolphins,
weeks.
the Miami Dolphins. You beat the teams on your schedule, and ever since Tua has come back, they're 7-0 with Tua at quarterback. They are 7-3 this season, and right now in first place and in the driver's seat in the AFC East because they have beaten the Bills already. The last time the Dolphins were 7-3 was 2001. Do you want to know how long ago that was? That was when the Heat had 0 titles. That was when LeBron was in high school. That's
Well,
when
you
the
already told
iPod
us
came
it was
out.
2001.
That is when Tua was 3. That is when Tom Brady was a first-year starter. It has been a very long time since my team has been 7-3, and they look great, and they score and they're good on offense, and they're good on defense. They're
By the way, the
opportunistic.
Dallas Cowboys are good on offense, good on defense, sitting at 6-3 since we've already had our bye.
And they don't have the best quarterback in the league right now, which is Tua Tagovailoa.
That is not
That
the
is-
best quarterback
you
in the
are-
league.
He's the
out
best
of your
quarterback in the
mind.
league right now.
Ryan, as always, you just walked straight into my web, just waiting right there for you. Very convincing wins by the Miami Dolphins. They beat the Ravens by 4, the Bills by 2, the Steelers by 6, the Lions by 4, and the Bears by 3. What a vaulted, unbelievable offense. Just laying all of, oh no, these are all terrible, terrible
That's very
wins.
interesting. You know what? If I bring up the Dallas Cowboys, and it just go ahead and hit those last two one more time, Josh.
Sure. I'm just going to read all 5 again. Ravens by 4, Bills by 2, Steelers by 6, a 16-10 game. Congratulations. The Lions, who are one of the worst teams, by 4, the Bears by 3. Those are your wins for your Miami Dolphins.
Tua for MVP.
So it's interesting. Just give me the last two. Bears by how many?
Bears by 3, Lions by 4.
We beat the Lions 24-6.
Great. Congratulations.
We beat
Lions
the Bears by
yesterday.
20.
Lions beat the Bears yesterday. So by the whole paradigm of teams
The
beating
whole
teams.
paradigm of teams being teams and any given Sunday,
The-
and
the-
you
the
can
Lions
use
and the
whatever
Bears were
euphemism you want, but the
31 to
Lions
30.
and the Bears are awful.
Bears
Oh,
are,
my.
I've been saying every week, we
Look,
suck.
that's
we were
why
going
I
to
was-
lose against the suckiest
That's
team.
why I was disappointed that we lost to the Packers, because now what we're going to get is maybe the Cowboys aren't as good as we think they are, but they're definitely better than the Dolphins.
I think straight up right now, Dolphins and Cowboys. Dolphins win straight up in the
Not a chance.
I don't
heck
think,
yeah.
I
Absolutely.
don't think so.
100%.
Not a chance.
100%. I am drinking so much Miami Dolphins Kool-Aid right now.
You are
Oh,
drinking-
you have no
yeah,
idea.
it's like Heaven's Gate
bring me,
cult over
bring
here.
me Patrick Mahomes. Bring me
I'm
Josh
su-
Allen.
I'm surprised.
Bring me Dak Prescott. Bring me Aaron Rodgers.
Bring me
me any
depression.
quarterback you
Bring
want in the
it.
league right
I'm
now.
Go
surprised
ahead
the
and bring
wall
Ryan
did not fall
depression,
down and you
'cause-
didn't
Can I make a
scream,
prediction?
"Oh,
Can I make a
yeah."
prediction?
That you're
Can I make
gonna
a
hit by
prediction?
lightning? Yeah.
Right now, Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
The Miami Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl
How
this
much
year,
do
ladies
you
and
want to
gentlemen.
bet me?
Oh, I
I will
wasn't
bet
prepared
you
for that.
everything in my wallet right now.
Oh, you don't want to take
Spoiler,
that bet right now.
that's probably a good shot.
He just came back from the casino. You might not want to bet that.
Let's table that conversation until next week.
Oh, that's weird. It's a lot of bark, very little
By the
bite.
way, remember when I called Justin Fields the best running quarterback in NFL history the last couple of weeks? 325 yards, the most
Because
rushing
he
quarterback by
can't
QB
throw.
in a
Guess what?
two-game
You
span in
can't get
NFL
very
history.
far if your quarterback can't throw.
Or maybe they actually redesigned the playbook. Ooh.
All hat, no cowboy over here.
They redesigned a playbook to make our quarterback run. What is the
I don't
term
have
of a
that,
quarterback? To throw the damn ball.
I don't have that. So. But I'll bet you.
I never have cash on me either.
I'll bet you.
All right, can we talk about the best team that's at this table, which
Kansas City
is
Chiefs?
your Kansas City Chiefs, Josh?
Back in the driver's seat as the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Kadarius
They
Toney,
look
by the
great.
way.
I mean, look.
I knew that was going to
Do
be
you
a
actually think your team is just getting by, or are you actually good?
I think the team is actually good.
They covered.
They covered
Holy crap.
It was
on
the Jags.
on it. Wait,
They were jagging off.
I'm sorry. So wait, we can dismiss crappy teams like you're supposed to be.
You're supposed to cover
Okay.
against teams.
Okay, interesting. The Chiefs look great. They don't look like they're giving away any of their future game plans, which is kind of the Andy Reid model. We don't really show anything, which is why randomly we lose to the Colts for no reason. It's, you know, the Chiefs are tough. They're tough on a fantasy level because you can't really rely on anyone except for Travis Kelce. We are offense by committee, so whoever is the best matchup, whoever has the fresh legs, whoever has whatever, that's when you end up with Isaiah Pacheco with a touchdown or a fumble in the red zone this last week.
Wait, why don't we go through this whole Chiefs? Oh, let's go do the whole thing you just did with me, right? With the wins for the Chiefs this
You already
year.
talked. We're good.
Let's see. Chiefs beat the Bucks
already
by
talked.
10.
Okay. Yeah,
the
the
Tampa
Bucks
Bay Bucks.
are decent.
The Bucks are decent.
I don't know how decent.
I'm hearing double-digit win. Go ahead.
They beat the Raiders, the worst team in the NFL, by 1 point on October 10th.
Well-
They lost to the Bills, who are now in third place in the AFC.
Time out. Wait, I'm going to stop you right there.
They barely beaten the Titans with their backup quarterback.
No, that's
Ryan,
still a win.
I mean, stop you by stop talking for 1 second, because we're not going to continue
using
to
your-
talk over
using your
each other.
transitive property over here.
I would like to say the Raiders are missing their best receiver, which was their tight end,
Darren Waller.
who's out.
I don't care. They lost to the Colts.
I do, because
Jeff
he was
Saturday
in
coach.
when he was playing them.
We don't have to. Ryan, you can just be offended by me poking a hole in it. It's fine.
I'm looking through your team schedule. It doesn't look very impressive to me. You lost to the damn Colts.
Aren't you the one that thought the Bucks are amazing and we beat the Bucks by 10? What's your question right now?
I'm just using your
Ryan,
logic.
you don't like the team that you're.
Do you think that the teams that we beat are stronger than the teams you beat? We beat
I
the
do.
49ers. I think we
beat the Ravens.
What's
The
that?
Ravens aren't strong.
No, they're awful.
You lost
this
to the
year.
Jets 40-7.
The Jets are second place in the AFC East, behind the Miami Dolphins.
Christ, Ryan.
Saying.
All right.
I can't wait till he
anyway,
cries at the end of the season.
Can we do a little fantasy football update?
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
Like my week, my team took a crap.
You're due.
You're welcome. You're welcome for handing you that
I
L.
am still scheduled to beat John Stone, but that is up in the air. This one's going to be close. Austin Machado lost to M10. Not surprising. Ernest also lost to Stacy. Yeah, you get your butt kicked, Bear, and you
85 points.
beat one of the other stalwarts of the league.
I'll take
Michael
that.
Ray.
After a 3-game skid where I was tied for first and now I was in fourth.
Need I mention my top scorers? Cooper Kupp got me 2.9 points because
Good
now
for you.
he might be out. Patterson, 3 points. George Kittle, 3 points.
Sucks to suck.
Funny, I did have Travis Kelce though. Kels.
Ryan,
he
and I know
likes to
you
be
say
pronounced.
sucks to suck, but I am still how many wins ahead of you in our division?
It doesn't care. I'm tied for second place now at 5-5.
Yeah, and guess who's 7-4
You're still
or
outside of the
7-3?
bubble by a lot.
Yeah.
I'm climbing though. I'm hot. You better watch
No.
out. I'm hot. I'm red hot.
Much like your team, you've played the worst people in the league.
Red hot.
Well,
You
wait
play
a
to
minute.
win the
I'm
game,
not
you beat the
worst.
teams you need
I'm
to beat.
actually still. I still have the most wins in the league.
Okay.
Play to win the game.
We're not
Well,
going to talk
actually, I'm
about
kinda
that either,
tied.
Haley, because what was the last time?
Okay,
that
well,
you
we'll
had
see
the
how this
most wins
season
in the
ends. We'll
league?
see how
Ryan,
this
you're tied
season
for second in a division that
Has all
everyone is 4 and
teams.
5.
Yes,
yeah.
I know. Second place.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Quick NBA thoughts from you, Joel Embiid. What he did last night? That's historic.
Not just last night, the last 2 nights.
He's been great.
He's been out of control. They've needed him to be with James Harden being out.
59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 blocks in 36 minutes.
It's the most points with that many blocks.
Come on.
I think since Wilt Chamberlain or something like that.
Since stats were
Like being
questionable.
I think when blocks were being counted, to be honest, that's an actual thing.
He also scored 26 of Philly's 27 points in the fourth quarter. First player to outscore both teams by himself since Tracy McGrady in 06. Was that the game where he did that against the Spurs? T-Mac scored like 13 points?
Yeah,
the
13 and 11 seconds.
yeah, it was some nuts.
Anyway, unbelievable.
Yeah, he is looking like my preseason pick as MVP finally. Took a little bit.
And by the way, I love that you use that as your analogy because the best, most points scored in the fewest number of seconds was Reggie.
Yes, it was Reggie.
It was
That's
Reggie,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
I will be seeing this week. I will be traveling to Dallas, Texas to see Luka Doncic
All right.
in person.
Nice.
So I will give a full report on that.
I'm excited.
I want to know what happens there.
What's the game?
I don't want to say because I don't want. I'm just going to be there. I don't like to
Who
give
else
my
is
plans.
That's what I was asking. Like, who are they playing?
Lakers?
Well, no, because then you'll know what day I'm there, and then I'm trying to like cloud of mystery.
Oh, okay. All right.
Cloud of
Sorry.
mystery.
Not a cloud of mystery. Let's go to music.
Music.
I've been recording new stuff.
As you've heard last week, if you listen to the podcast, so listen to the podcast.
If you did,
It'll be blacked
you
out.
heard
one
some. But on top of that, even if you listened last Monday, you missed what I recorded on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And I am very, very excited.
Is that what you previewed on Instagram?
It is what I previewed on Instagram, TikTok. It's just Chris Young music. That's all of them. Again, to repeat, I don't have a private account. I only have the ones that are verified there are no like underscore number private page.
And that person saying, I just say that on the podcast. They're literally just saying that to fool you. So stop.
For those of you listening at home, the way the process works too when you're making a record is there are different time periods where you're recording songs and you're collecting all of these records, and then you kind of zoom out a little bit and go, what is the record? And some of those extra tracks end up as the deluxe version, or they become singles on their own, correct?
Yes. So on top of all of that, I don't know that we're going to do necessarily anything that would be a deluxe right now, because the other thing is labels now just allow you to put as many songs as you want on the record. So I think I'm going to go into this one with a lot of songs already done.
We'll see how many
over at Sony, but make sure and go check that out. And obviously all of the teases and all of the music I'm so fired up about it. And on top of that, the BMI Awards, ASCAP and CSAC Awards were all last week. At the BMI Awards, picked up some awards as writer and publisher for Famous Friends. And then at the ASCAP Awards, it actually won...
Song of the Year?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Won Song of the Year.
Hell yeah, it did.
So, pretty damn cool. And that's all y'all's fault. Anyone listening to this that's listening to any of my music. So thank you very, very much.
This was my first foray into living in Nashville for CMA week and the show. That whole experience.
I'm exiting for a second.
Oh,
so
boy.
I trust you. I trust
no.
you. Go.
Oh, no. It was a really cool experience to be here in this city. And I remember watching the awards last year, and it was kind of one of those moments where I need to move there. That was what spurred it. But to see the city rally around it, it's just so cool to be here on one of country music's biggest nights. It was just one of those things that you get chills being able to be a part of this.
Did I miss something? Isn't CRS normally the week before? Or am I wrong on that?
I think you're thinking of the thing in June.
Oh,
for
CMT.
That's CMA Fan Fest, which is a completely different thing than the CMA Awards, it gets very confusing because you have CMT, CMA
Fest,
CMA Awards, ACMs.
Well, the ACMs are now next year in Texas. They will not be in Vegas.
CMTs
is in
are
Texas.
in Texas. ACMs are still in Vegas.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Yes.
I thought it might.
Yep.
Positive.
Yeah, CMTs are now in Austin. They moved to Austin.
CMT, as in television, CMA, still here, ACM, Vegas, as of right now.
Really excited. But what a cool week it is. It's really, there's such a buzz. There's always a buzz in this town, but this week especially has been cool.
There is a lot of buzz. It also feels the closest to what Los Angeles goes through.
ACM Awards live from the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas.
Oh, Frisco.
Well,
all right. Well, there you go.
Great.
Cool.
Maybe all of country music's moving to Texas. We don't know.
I guess so.
They are supposed to be the
Vegas.
live music capital of the world.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no chance.
But what Nashville has in these moments, especially during CMAs, et cetera, is what Los Angeles goes through all the time, where you have red carpets, where you have streets being closed down, where you have bars that you would normally frequent being after parties and being locked down and having a guest list only. And it's really, it's kind of fun. It really is kind of fun to see everyone dressed up or randomly going to cookout at 3 a.m, still dressed up in their like get-ups from the award ceremony. It's a really cool time to be in the city.
It really is. I enjoyed it. I enjoy it more, though, unlike that one year when it was on the World Series final night, which is why I think they purposely have adjusted with how that went out.
Give it its own time.
Yeah, because that was an important year, and that's what happened.
Yeah, this shitty city.
Whoa!
Nice.
Music.
There is an Instagram called
Music City shows its true colors around this time. So it was really cool this week to take that all in. I didn't get to go down to Broadway on Wednesday night. Probably a good thing that I did not after the awards. But just so cool to get everybody together and to see that again. And obviously, congratulations to all the award winners. And by the way, Lainey Wilson. I mean, her kind of stardom rise in country music has been really cool to see, and everybody wrapping their arms around her. But really, an unbelievable night for country music.
A major sad point also, while we love that this city is growing and it's awesome, and I'm not against progress, it was announced this morning that a venue that is near and dear to my heart that has been here and operating for 51 years. Exit In is closing on Thanksgiving. This is really sad for the local community for a number of reasons. Number one, it's an independent venue. So for those of you at home that don't understand, there's two main companies that own a majority of the music venues that you frequent. They purchase talent. They have the concerts come in. It's a whole thing. But as an independent venue, they get to do whatever they want. They get to book whoever they want, however they want to do it. And it's been doing it for 51 years. And
are they just not doing well? Like, why are they?
They're doing fine. Their lease is up, and they're not being allowed to.
So apparently,
renew.
the new property owner does plan to keep the venue, but provided no additional details other than that.
They are forced to do that because of a historic overlay on the building as of right now. However, my guess would be that they will lobby our local government to get those zoning restrictions removed, which then they would tear it down and build condos.
Can you, for those that aren't familiar, because again, I actually live very close to the Exit Inn. I've walked past it many times. There's so many cool murals on the wall outside that I'm assuming are artists that have either played there or
Correct.
inspirational artists. Can you give me an idea of just the historic nature of this venue?
I mean,
how much it's meant to this city?
We are losing. That's a great question. We are losing a lot of the really great venues like this that made Nashville the local music scene. We have traded out these local spots for
The honky tonks,
bachelorettes, covers. That's fine. Okay, I'm not against that, but I don't like losing this in the process. Exit In is one of those places where like Steve Martin, the comedian / banjo player, 45 years ago, I don't know the exact date, but it was in the 70s, and he halfway through his concert stopped and looked at the crowd and said, "Are you guys hungry?" And they said yes. And he goes, "Great." And he took all 200 people down the street, bought them all cheeseburgers, walked them back to the venue, and they all sat Indian style or crisscross applesauce or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the correct PC version is, but that's what I grew up with, whatever. And they all ate their meal together, and then he finished the rest of his set.
That's really cool.
This is what Exit In was. This is a place that I've played a couple times, not a ton. It's a place where the Billy Block show, which was kind of the first showcase in Nashville of talent, used to be based out of. Chris played that a whole bunch of times when he was coming up. I played it once when I was in 2011 before it moved. It is a shame to see places like this go. It would be akin to something like the Troubadour in Los Angeles closing. It would be akin to, CBG. It's a lot like when CBGB closed in New York.
Well, you also said, like they'll probably tear it down for condos. Well, they keep building condos where all these music venues were, and we're running out of things to do. Like, you keep tearing down the things that people move to Nashville for so they can move in. Well, now we're just going to have places for people to live, but no entertainment spaces at this point.
I wanted to add, because your story came up here, and I'm reading a really cool piece from Axios here that kind of walks through some of the really fun, cool stories. Not only did you have the Steve Martin story, but Red Hot Chili Peppers did an impromptu Thanksgiving meal in the backstage green room of the Exit Inn. You had REM, Police, Billy Joel, Talking Heads headlining shows there. Jimmy Buffett famously wandered in off the street and played the first show there in 51 years. I mean, I've walked by it, but I get chills right now thinking about that history, a place that I've walked by a number of times. That is so cool. And it really does stink that part of history of this town is now going to be gone at the end of this month.
Because it's developers who look at a 3-mile circle of downtown and say, how can we maximize profits? But what we're missing is developing local talent, developing an arts community, developing what made Nashville great. And I know that I sound very impassioned about this. It's because I am. These are the things that we still need to hold on to as this city. I'm for the bars making money. I'm for bachelorettes coming here and spending their money. I'm for all that stuff, but not at the cost
of losing it all.
Of losing our spirit, the local music scene, and venues like Exit In.
See why any Exit In stories that you have, since it will be closing the end of this month?
Yeah, I definitely have some, not just events that I've played there, charity events that have taken place there, but especially getting to work with people like Billy Block. When I was coming up, that was one of the places that he did the Billy Block show, which was, for everyone that has not listened to this podcast or watched us before, I've talked about him in the past, but really just a whiskey jam before there was whiskey jam, sort of.
That's a
But
good way to put it.
it was when there weren't
A bunch of
18
showcases.
writers showcases.
Yeah.
There weren't any of those. And he got a lot of artists started and gave them a place to go perform their music. So it was really, really special. And
It's joining too large of a list of things that we're missing now between 12th and Porter
That are
and the
gone.
Rutledge and
Yeah.
Exit In and what's about to be 3rd and Lindsley, which they sold that building and now that's
they really?
yeah,
We're
now-
even missing the Hermitage Cafe.
which is not a music
Yeah.
venue but was a wonderful place. They,
seriously, I mean, things that are, and I understand you can't keep everything. Progress is going to happen. Change is going to happen. I would hate to see the Exit In cease to exist.
Well, I'm going to head over there before Thanksgiving and try and take in a show or do something to pay homage to it.
Chain yourself to the door and say no.
Well, I mean, we
don't
don't.
know if I can
We
do
don't. They didn't sell it, right? Do we know?
they are not being allowed to renew their lease at the end of the year.
So they are going to sell it.
It is protected by an overlay, but that can be amended by just the right people petitioning the local government and getting zoning laws changed, which happens all the time in cities. So
I mean, look, they just changed the zoning laws on Music Row the other day, and they might get changed back. So who knows?
What are you listening to?
Yeah, what are you listening to? I'm going to go old school country for me. And I'm going to do a bit, like not a crazy throwback, but I'm going to go Amen, Kind of Love, Daryl Singletary.
heck yeah.
Love that. Mine's a little different this week, and it's because I forget exactly where I was, but they were playing a bunch of old R&B hits, and 112 popped on the playlist. I'm a dude.
Peaches
I
and
love.
Cream?
It's not Peaches and Cream. It's It's Anywhere by 112. Dude, that song effed back in the day, man. That song was the jam. So 112. Shout out to the boys. Anywhere. Let's go. You put that song on late at night with your honey at home.
Yikes.
Oof,
Yikes.
Getting down.
Ooh. A honey at home.
Hubba, hubba.
Jesus.
I got a fun phone call this weekend where I'm having to fast track a handful of Christmas songs
Christmas.
Here we go.
Santa.
Now you're going to
for-
piss them off.
for Mackenzie Porter, who's over at Big Loud, who is awesome. She's a wonderful artist. So I'm choosing one of her songs. She has a song called About You that I love. And so just want to give her a little shout out.
Well, I'm way off of y'all right now. And I'm going to go.
By the way, sorry, sidebar. I do have a Christmas album if you guys want to go check it out because
Even though we're not celebrating Christmas till after Thanksgiving.
Yes, we are.
we are not. However, it seems like I'm starting to fall in the category of a very small percentage that are not, because right now the top 4 trending on Spotify are all like Christmas, Baby Please Come Home, Under the Weather, and It Must Be Christmas from my Christmas record that are all
Hell
up
yeah.
like plus 456%. So, hey, y'all do you. Enjoy my Christmas music, please. Go check it out. All right. What was yours? Sorry, Bear.
Again, I'm not sure if I've done this one, but if I did, it was years ago. So we're going to do the song Are You Up by the Phantoms, and it is exactly what you think it is. You know, that
Insomnia.
text... That
It is
text
definitely-
saying,
Yeah, it's insomnia.
that text you send at 2:00 in the morning when the bars are closing, Are You Up?
Not
is
safe for work.
exactly
Okay.
what the song is
We
about.
do not endorse this kind of behavior on the podcast. We are a family show.
We are a family podcast.
Okay. Let's go to the hot take.
Which will live on the Twitter page this week, the poll.
Yes.
If you're not on there, at the Quad with CY on Twitter, we will post the poll likely tomorrow.
I just realized I never voted for last week because I never got on Twitter.
Yeah,
Well.
I didn't either.
I did. I voted.
There you
What,
go.
who won the poll?
Well, we already
just
said that at the beginning.
Wait.
Did you miss the beginning of the podcast?
I guess I did.
Yeah.
Did you, this was when you were rebooting. I forgot about that. This was the reboot period. Yep.
What did you do last night?
Haley, welcome to the Quad with
It's-
Chris Young. We do this podcast
Again,
every week on
it has
Mondays.
been a very
Soda
long
one.
week. A
Soda
very,
one.
very, very long week.
Soda one with 49%.
Oh, yeah,
of
I
the
totally
Yeah.
missed all of that.
Reboot.
Yeah. So I'm actually adding an option to this.
Oh.
Because this is going to be sort of the same thing as last week, where there's a 3 option answer.
3-headed monster.
The best way to cook a turkey.
Baked.
We have baked. We have smoked. And then what else would I put?
Fried.
Deep fried, obviously.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued to see what you guys have to say.
While you were talking, my Uber Eats goes, ship a Popeyes Cajun-style turkey.
Literally,
literally,
You got to be kidding me.
Right
Do it
now.
right now.
Right
Yes,
now.
absolutely.
Right now.
Yes.
Wait,
right now.
what?
Ship it.
It said, ship a Popeyes Cajun-style turkey.
Yes.
Right now.
Can we
Do
put
it.
Cajun style as one of the options on this now?
No,
Because that sounds
but
fantastic.
absolutely.
I'm Uber
you
Eats
should
it
ship
right now.
that.
I don't
yeah,
care.
hell yeah. We'll make turkey sandwiches.
Full
That sounds
send.
fantastic.
What?
Oh,
Why
it's-
doesn't mine say that?
That's what
That's
it, that's
not
what it
cool.
pulled
That's
up.
that's
Wait,
so crazy.
Hang on.
That's so crazy.
That's not cool. I don't appreciate that Uber Eats didn't send that to me.
It's not. Maybe you don't give the permission.
Mean.
Like I do.
Give us the permission to
So
listen to me and order
mean.
food on my behalf. The AI is incredible.
All right.
baked,
Well, yeah, here we go.
baked,
Baked,
deep fried, right?
deep fried, or smoked. And I'm going to kick things off. I'm going to be classic. I'm sorry. I like to cook. I don't need a smoker for a turkey. I don't need a fryer for a turkey. I need an oven and thyme, because that is and not thyme,
spice.
THYME. I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to say that. I hate you a little bit because I saw you going for the mic and I was like, damn
saw
it.
me perk up.
spinning.
Like, oh.
I brine mine. I have custom ingredients that I use every year, and I always go out of my way to be way early. I get up early in the morning and start cooking so that not only do I have time,
And also,
rosemary as well.
Yes.
But I seriously go way out of my way to make sure that I always cook a turkey well and nail it on Thanksgiving. So that is one of the things that I love doing. I don't feel like it would be the same. I understand smoking or deep frying everything else. Almost literally. But
Oreos, whatever.
yeah,
We're here for it.
whatever. Hey, go ahead. But I just, for me, it is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is classic. And I don't know what that noise my
That was
mouth
your
just
throat.
made was. Sorry about that, audio listeners and
All this
video,
talk
I
about
guess.
turkey is really getting us going.
Yeah,
You order that turkey from
I'm
Popeyes
getting
yet?
excited.
Cajun style. Let's go.
I think it's baked in the oven for me.
And because I'm going to go next, just because I agree with you. I have never been one. I don't, it's not that I don't like smoked turkeys, but I don't think of smoked turkey when I do Thanksgiving. I go to barbecue restaurants and get smoked turkey. And then when it comes to being fried,
It's
people
not that
are
it's
just
bad.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
not. That's what I'm saying. It's just not what I think of with Thanksgiving. Also, people are idiots when it comes to frying turkeys, and you'll hear more disasters coming from people trying to fry turkeys. And I just don't want it fried either. I don't. My family, being a very strong Italian family, we do a drunken turkey every year, and we baste it in vermouth, and it's just so good, and it's moist. Yes, I said it.
Ooh.
It
Is
is
it savory and succulent?
savory,
it's the
succulent,
succulent
juicy, and it's just so good with all of the
I just have
flavors.
like a really great photo from a couple years ago of my dog sitting there
Drooling.
staring at the turkey, drool coming out of his mouth.
But yeah, I have to go baked as well, and ours obviously bakes for like 6
Gobble, gobble,
hours.
Josh.
What are we? What are we arguing right
What
now?
is the best way?
We are
The best
arguing
way
the
of doing
best
way to cook a turkey.
to cook a turkey.
The
For
best
Thanksgiving.
way,
Yes.
Smoked, fried.
not the way that we do it. The best way.
Right, but I agree
It's
that the
baked.
way that we do it is the best way.
It's baked.
Oh.
If you do it right.
Yeah, no, it's smoked. It's not even
No.
close.
Oh,
A smoked
come
turkey
on.
is one of the most delicious things you can possibly eat.
I'm not saying it's bad.
But
It's not traditional to Thanksgiving, and I'm with you. I bake mine every year. I have a brine. I have aromatics that I stuff inside the turkey. It's a whole process. I get it. I'm with that. But it's not the most delicious way to do it.
For audio only
don't
listeners,
have a smoker.
I am looking at Josh incredulously right now.
I don't have a
because
smoker.
He
I don't
just
have
disputed his own point. It's baked.
No, the most delicious way to do it is smoked. I don't have that kind of time. I don't have a smoker. I don't even
time?
THYME.
or time. I'm out. I need to get some more time. Either one. But I don't have a smoker. I live in a condo. I can't smoke anything. I would if I had a house, if I had a yard. I would smoke
time
everything.
out,
I would
time out,
smoke
time out.
everything in the world.
I completely get where you're coming from. That's how I do ribs. That's how I do brisket. I have options to do them in the oven, but if I've got a smoker and it's available, that's what I'll do.
But that's not the best way
Now,
to cook a turkey. I want the turkey
that is
juicy.
That is
Smoked
not.
comes out dry.
You can only eat so much smoked turkey because it's such a heavy flavor. To me,
You're talking to the guy from Kansas City who eats nothing but barbecue.
It's so good.
So,
Shout out to Gates. Turkey and a half on bun
I don't know.
with fries.
So while I think the most traditional way to cook a turkey would be baking it in the oven, without question, to me, the best part of a turkey is the skin. And the way you get the most flavorful, tasty, succulent, flavorful skin
I'm so sorry.
To brine it.
is
yes.
by deep frying a turkey where it gets crispy and beautiful and it's sizzling.
If
and you
you
just
know how to
see
bake a
the
turkey,
oil
you
on
can
there.
get crispy
It is
skin.
by far the most flavorful, the best way to do it. And the most, well, it's the most dangerous, but sometimes you got to live on the danger side. You got to live on the danger side to get the flavor.
All right, Russell Wilson.
Broncos country.
Let's
we
ride.
tried. We tried.
By the way, we're going to refer to our friends here at tastingtable.com because that seems to be the authority for the way that turkeys should be prepared. And they surveyed 601 readers to find out the best way.
Well,
to cook the bird.
we don't have to get like a vote. If they have an opinion, that's one thing. We're about to get a vote.
The one clear winner, the option that came out as the clear winner,
Not yet.
with 57% of their vote.
I bet we get more than that number of people to vote on this. I'm just gonna keep talking.
Does
now
that make us an expert and authority?
Oh, we should start our own website.
Should we just launch a website saying Quad says, and then we are now the authority
And it's
on
the
things?
most random stuff.
Yes.
According to votes.
Go
Baking
ahead.
a turkey was number one.
Exactly.
Baking a turkey and a roasting pan was number one.
I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be baking the turkey.
Real quick, stuffing in the turkey or not? 'Cause
No.
that's
Nope.
the real
Nope.
that's the real
No.
hot take.
Nope.
Nope.
That
nope.
dries out the turkey, and I don't
Man.
like a dry turkey.
It doesn't have to.
Like here's my thing.
Solid no for me.
I am a no, but I also we can get into how I can't even say it.
Dark or white meat?
How
That's
you,
another
how you
one.
like
Dark
your
meat?
stuffing.
Dark.
How do you like your stuffing? Yikes.
How do you like?
This is a family program.
Yeah,
Joe.
it is. We're gonna stop.
Are you up?
It is like
It's you to the turkey. Are you up?
You stuffed?
Oh, there it is.
That's probably how we should end this. That's it.
Just hit the button.
Get outta here.
That's all. We're getting out of here right now, guys. Thanks for listening to The Quad with Chris Young.
Time to go. Turkey's ready.
Can't even. Want a nap. And we're out.